Okay, so I was contacted by a mate of mine there, and he asked me, why do I do the whole podcast thing, and like the whole YouTube videos and all the rest of it? And it's the type of question you'd think I'd have already answered it, but I fucking don't. Now, it's as deep a question as questions go, because why do we do anything? Like, why do you go to work? Why do you have kids? Why? It's one of the deepest questions that you can ask. Why do you do what it is that you do? And my knee-jerk answer is, fucked if I know. But I've been thinking about it, and I've come up with half a dozen different things in my head, fucking whirring away up there in my brain. But I want to try and concretize it a bit. So I said, fucking ideal opportunity. On my way to work, lash up the recording and find out, because the answer's in there. And that's what I love. And that this is fundamentally one of the reasons, at least, why I do it, is because the answers to these questions are nowhere else other than up here. And it's very hard to make sense of what's up here until it fucking comes out here and you hear it in here. Do you know that kind of way? Like, you can, and I know this myself on the negative side of things. Like, I'll ruminate. I'll be in my head. Let's say for whatever reason I'm pissed off with the wife. Just hypothetically, I'm human. I get pissed off with my fucking wife. And I'll catch myself, and this is something I learned from one of my boyfriends, a guy called Sam Harris. It's essentially awareness. So I'll be on my way to work, and in my head, I'll be cycling, fucking dickhead, fucking stupid bitch, fucking everything I do, and fucking ungrateful cunt, and I'll be bitching and moaning like a fucking spoiled 4-year-old. And I've gotten better over the years at becoming more aware of this. So it still happens, but I catch it sooner. So whereas before I might have spent an hour looping in my head, she's a fucking dickhead, she's a fucking bitch, you're a fucking and that hour, as soon as I started becoming more aware, became 50 minutes, and then 45 minutes, and then 20 minutes, then 10, then 5. Now, some days it's 20 seconds, and probably because I don't know if I'm better fed, I'm better watered, I have better sleep. 5 seconds in, I go, you're talking bullshit about your wife again, Fran. Oh, cop the fuck onto yourself. And I kind of, take a deep breath, fucking chill the fuck out, and go, do you know what? Stop being a dickhead and get on with your fucking day. That's obviously on a good day. But another day, maybe I haven't slept that well, maybe I have a fucking toothache, or a fucking something is bugging the piss out of me. And it could be 5, 10, 15, 20, 45 minutes. So it could be half the fucking day. Just depending on not how well I've slept that night, but on how well I slept that night, the night before that. Maybe I've had a bad fucking week. Maybe I've had a bad fucking month. Give me a fucking break. Go easy on yourself, lad. Like, do you know what kind of way? Like, I do have a tendency, I have a tendency to lean into what comes naturally to me. And I'm a born complainer. And I don't mean about everybody else. I can do that too. I'm quite adept at bitching about people. I have a forked tongue and I know how to use it. But I can use it on myself as well. So I'm quite adept at pissing and moaning and blaming other people. And that comes naturally to me. It's a lot easier for me, and for probably most people, I would think, especially Irish men. I think it's a lot easier for us to fucking lash out and to externalize all your problems and to say, fuck him anyway, he's the fucking reason that I'm doing this, and if it wasn't for that other dickhead I wouldn't be in this situation, and fuck him for being such a prick, and all the rest of it. Like, that comes naturally to us, and we tend to lean into what comes naturally to us, and that's not always a good thing. It's quite often a fucking bad thing. The things that are better for us are typically things that require a bit of effort. It's a lot easier, I find it, to be a nasty dickhead, and it's a lot easier to blame other people, and it's a hell of a lot harder to take more responsibility and more ownership of the shit that you've got going on in your life. But when this guy posed the question, like, why do you do it? As I've said, it helps me get what's in my head out of my head. Once I've done that, I feel like I've kind of exercised it. Like I did an episode earlier on today about why fish have white bellies. And that's been in my head to do for ages. But I thought it was a really good example of fundamental knowledge, and I didn't do it up until today because I've been postponing it basically. I've been not coming up with excuses intentionally, but by default I essentially had been coming up with excuses not to do it. And the excuse was, no, it's a really good point. If I can just word it right, it could be really impactful. Instead of just uploading it to fuck and maybe doing it again, having learned what you learned from doing it the first time, in 6 months' time or 2 days' time or whatever. But I got it up this morning. It wasn't perfect. It was good enough, perfectly fine. But I exercised it out of myself. So just getting all this shit out of my head, it frees up space. It's like defragging your computer. It's like deleting files. It's like deleting a load of photos or videos that's slowing up your phone. It's pretty much the exact same thing. It gets rid of it. It gets it out there in the open, and it frees up space. Exactly the way you can free up space in a digital sense with your fucking PC or your phone or your laptop or whatever the fuck it is, tablet, any of these things. It frees up space, head space. And I don't have a whole lot of room up there. So the more things I can get out, the better. So that's another reason why I do it. Another reason then is, and it's been a big motivating factor, but it hasn't been particularly successful. In one sense, it's been somewhat successful. I've met a couple of new people out of it, but not nearly as many as I'd like. And what I love about it is, what I put forward on these videos is unfiltered, unadulterated, genuine me. It's me writ large. It's me and nothing else. Just what's in the head, my genuine personality, my genuine being. I'm fucking exposing my mind to the world. And what that means is, the people who like it and who watch a lot of it or all of it or listen to a bit of it or are into it, that means that if I was to ever meet these people in person, like I can just relax. I can just go, I don't have to put on a persona. I don't have to put on any kind of a front. You like me for fucking who and what I am fundamentally. Because I think when you're not being your true self, whatever the fuck that is, but if you're not being genuine and you're putting on a front to people, it's fucking tiring. And worse than just being tiring, and false, it's hard work. And I think it boils down to trust. How can you really trust that somebody likes you if you haven't been your authentic self? If you haven't been genuine? If you've put on a bit of a front, then however much that person might like you, there's a vacuousness to that. There's an emptiness, there's a meaninglessness to it, there's a fakeness to it. And even if the person genuinely likes the front that you put up, that's all they like. You put up this front and they like that. They don't necessarily like what's behind it. And what I suppose I'm striving to do, and that's what's coming out of the wash in this episode, is what I'm striving to do is get rid of this fucking thing. Get rid of the veil that we kind of put in front of ourselves. Like this is what, we try and put forward. This is writ large with a lot of social media apps. These fucking filters that girls use, like they are so fucking, they corrupt you so badly because it's a visual version of a persona, and we are visual creatures. Upwards of fucking I won't say 90%. A massive portion of our entire brain is devoted to fucking sight and to all the processes that go into depth, perception and movement and distinguishing one thing from another thing. So vision is one of our primary senses, if not the primary sense. and these kind of filter things, and makeup as well is a lot to answer for. They fuck with that, and it's like it's a visual persona, as opposed to a fake ego that we put forward. So I suppose fundamentally, I think it's about that old Greek maxim, know thyself. The more of this stuff that I put out there, the more interactions that I have with people who like me for being me, the more I can learn about myself, the more I can learn about myself and understand about myself, the more I can learn and understand about other people and the world at large. And on that note, I'll chat to you soon.